The following is a presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Black. We are Loud.
We had a fearsome forecast in Philadelphia last night, but it is dry for the moment. We are going to have baseball, and the Braves can win a series outright on the road if they win today. It's game 2 of our 3-game set between the Braves and the Phillies here at the Bank Hall. Hi again, friends. Chip and Joe, welcome to the ballpark. Matt Whistler was great last night. The Atlanta offense broke out. Hopefully that's the recipe for the birthday boy, Williams Perez, who looks for a redeemer in game 2 today.
He pitched a great ball game against the Phillies in Atlanta, and he went 8 innings, only gave up 1 run. That was on a home run to Ryan Howard. He was outstanding. There's the line on that May 11th start. He had a rough outing against Pittsburgh in his last start on this road trip, but it wasn't all his fault. And I'm on my soapbox about that because he was getting the ground balls that he needed. He wasn't getting any plays made behind him. There was a pass ball in the first inning that kind of opened the floodgates as well. So if Williams can just keep doing what he's doing and get some sort of defense played behind him, he'll be fine today.
Offense has been the problem in games that Adam Morgan has started for the Philadelphia Phillies. One great start against the Braves, dreadful last time out, a lot like Williams Perez.
Exactly, and that came against Cincinnati. He had a great game, first win ever against the Braves in Atlanta in front of a lot of friends and family, but he's coming off a horrible start against the Reds, so we'll see how that works out for him today if he's able to bounce back.
And so for this Atlanta ball club, Joe, there seems to be an offensive sense of confidence, and why wouldn't there be? The bats were booming last night. When we come back, we'll talk about that as we get you set for game 2 of our set here at Citizens Bank Park. Philadelphia in game 1 of this series. Joe, the Braves hit 3 2-run homers.
Well, it's been fun to watch on this road trip to see how everybody's broken out the big bats. Jim Francoeur with a couple in Pittsburgh. Markakis with his first last night, and Freddie with 2 last night. Alex Smith had 2 in 1 game in Pittsburgh, so it's been fun to watch, averaging over 5 runs a game over the last 5 games and a lot of extra base hits. Let's hope that continues today.
And this is how Brian Snitker lines him up for the middle game of our set here at Citizens Bank Park. It's a very different looking lineup. We've explained why several times. I know you like Chase d'Arnaud in the leadoff spot. Chase hitting .357 overall this year. Gordon Beckham is red hot. He's batting second. And then you've got the men that hit home runs behind those 2 high on base percentage men.
Yeah, I like it. I like the way Chase is swinging the bat. I like the way he runs. He is becoming more and more to me a baseball player with his instincts and the things he does. So I'm enjoying watching him play.
So Atlanta will take aim at Atlanta native Adam Morgan.
Okay, Adam Morgan, 26 years old, 6'1", 200-pounder out of Kell High School in Marietta. Here are his last 2 lines. May 10th at Atlanta, great game. He won that ball game against the Braves 3-2. He only gave up 1 run. But then Sunday against Cincinnati, kind of caved in on him. 8 hits, 7 earnings, 3 walks, and did not get out of the 4th inning. So we'll wonder today which Adam Morgan we're going to see. You know he was fired up to pitch in his hometown. We'll see how he does against the Braves here in Philly.
Phillies had some infield defensive problems. Miguel Franco had 2 errors last night, but he's back in there at the hot corner. Goodell, Herrera, and David Lowe gets started right. Howard, Blanco, and Galvis also in the infield, and longtime Phillies backstop Carlos Ruiz, who's over the 1,000 games caught mark as a Philly, is in harness today. Gray skies. Weather forecast is somewhat optimistic. We were warned last night that there's a chance we might not even get to the ballpark, that they might cancel this game before the 3:05 start time. Cloudy skies forecast. Rain is going to move into the area throughout the afternoon, and both the Braves and Phillies wanted to avoid a doubleheader tomorrow, so every effort will be made to get 9 innings in today.
And 15 degrees colder than it was at game time last night. And that wind at 2 miles an hour might be a little stiffer than that.
So we'll see if the right-hand hitters for the Braves can feast in game 2. Chase d'Arnaud steps in. He's ready to go. The Braves on a 3-5 road trip so far. Won last night 7-1. Morgan delivers a strike. Jerry Davis has the plate. 60 degrees at first pitch. One ball, 1 strike. d'Arnaud's had a good road trip. He's riding a 4-game hitting streak. He has 6 hits in 14 at-bats so far on this 3-city journey. And that one's whacked back our way and into the seats foul. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Low 90s fastball for Morgan, slider, change up. Also has a curveball, but uses his slider more often.
And he got a weak swing from d'Arnaud, and Ruiz will throw him out at first. d'Arnaud strikes out. That's how the ball game begins. Here's Beckham.
If he throws more curveballs like that, then he should throw that more often than the slider. That was a good one.
Gordon Beckham's reached base in 15 of his last 17 games. And he's touched the Phillies for 4 RBIs with 5 hits. And he takes a ball low. 1 ball, no strikes. There's the good fastball. A fastball, Joe, that's improved over last year. The Braves were talking about that with Morgan the first time they saw him. Higher velocity by about 2 miles an hour on that heat. And that one popped out to short. Easy play for Galvis. He's got it 2 down.
And there's just what you're talking about. Maybe a little surprise on the inner part to Beckham. Jammed him.
Morgan recovering from shoulder surgery. So he's got some more zip back on the fastball. But a 1-1 record, a 6.41 ERA, not what he had in mind in mid to late May. Freddie Freeman, a big night last night. And he is wearing out the Phillies, which is good to see. Freeman hit his 7th career multi-homer game. And his good work. Here's our Georgia lottery hitting the jackpot.
8 for 17 with 4 long balls. I'd say that's doing some damage.
Hey, great catch off to our left. That was a hot shot too, man. Barehanded grab. As a towering fly ball is hit down the line and right and into the second deck. Looks like Freddie Freeman's got his swagger back at the plate.
He does, and even behind in the count, he's able to cover what guys are trying to do to him away, as we saw last night.
In the air toward center field, Herrera diving try, can't get it. And Freeman's aboard with 2 outs. And that'll be a base hit for Freddie Freeman.
And again, on an 0-2 count, something down and away, he covered it and hit it pretty hard. And Herrera had that go off his thumb.
Jeff Francoeur's been wearing out left-handers all year. He's hitting .326 against them and .250 overall. He's the Braves cleanup man in game 2 and didn't get the fastball. That one was at 92 miles an hour. .92-79 on back-to-back pitches.
And in the same spot.
Popped up. Galvis drifts out. He says he's got it, and he does. And that retires the side in the top of the first. The birthday boy, Williams Perez, is ready to go. Phillies are coming up. Williams Perez is ready to go for the Braves, facing a Phillies club that's 24-18, 2 games behind the Washington Nationals.
Looking for his 2nd win of the year. A few too many walks in there, but he's really cut down on those recently. Coming off a start in Pittsburgh where he went 6 innings and gave up 6 runs. Again, not all his fault at all. His 4 keys today. Because of that, he was getting ground balls Keep the same plan. Everything's been working for you. You're pitching great. What happened in Pittsburgh was about 10% his fault. And the rest on the defense. His changeup's been outstanding. He'll need that today against this free-swinging Phillies lineup.
That features ODUBEL Herrera leading off. Herrera at .327, 4 homers and 13 knocked in. Galvis, Blanco, Franco, Howard, the top 5 hitters for the Phillies. Ryan Howard moves down a spot. 4-2 today for Pete McCannon. And Williams' first pitch is off the plate, 1 ball, no strikes. Matt Whistler started the game for the Braves last night. Had a shaky first inning, gave up a run, and was missing right where Williams Perez missed with his first 2 pitches.
Maybe the pitching rubber's not lined up right.
That one found the mark, though. 2-1 your count.
There was a note on our graphics about his work against the Phillies. Last 3 games for Williams, a 1.74 ERA against the Phillies, a 3-0 record.
Herrera tried a 1-strike bunt, missed it. 2 balls, 2 strikes now.
There you go, just 1 walk in those 3 starts.
To me, that's been the most noticeable stat about this young staff. They are pounding the strike zone. If Williams can do that, he's got a real good chance today. The 2-2 pitch missed, full count at 95 miles an hour. Galvis is next as the Phillies bat for the first time today. Hit softly toward left. Francoeur is there and puts it away. And Herrera is retired for out number 1. Galvis at .240 on the year. 4 homers, 17 runs batted in. Phillies a very interesting club. We talked about it briefly last night. They're 6 games over 500. They have a winning record in the division. They have a winning record at home. But the Phillies have been outscored by 34 runs over the course of this 2016 season. And even at home, the Phillies have struggled. They've been outscored 80-56 in their 20 home games.
Well, we've talked a lot about their record in 1-run decisions. They're 14-3. They're 2-2 in games decided by 2 runs. So that's 21 games. That's almost half of their games that have been decided by close decisions.
Swing and a miss takes care of Galvis. Perez has his first strikeout. So when they lose kind of like they did last night.
Lose big.
Yeah. Here's Andres Blanco. Blanco's hit a homer. He's knocked in 7. And as you see, just a couple of ticks away from a .300 average. And he wails away and fouls it off. That's strike 1.
Not a lot of difference in their team, lefties or righties. .236 team average against right-handers, .226 against left-handers.
Well, there are some who have said what the Phillies have done is a mirage, that they're not as good as their record would indicate. I don't believe any of that at all. They are pitching, and that's what gives them a chance to win. And if they start believing that they're as good as their record indicates, then it becomes a whole other story for them.
Well, one thing last night about the 2 errors by Franco and almost a third until it was reviewed is that they've got to have guys catch the ball behind this young pitching staff. That's first and foremost. Beyond their pitching is their defense.
1-2 pitch. Oh. Flowers held it there. Jerry Davis said no.
Let's take a look at that. Low target from Tyler Flowers. Oh, pretty good pitch.
Well, next year nobody will be able to complain about that because that'll be a foot low with the new strike zone coming. 2-2. And that one's poked towards center. Inciarte on the run. Look at his closing speed. He got there and took away an extra base hit attempt by Mr. Blanco. Inciarte continues his dazzling work in the outfield, and the Phillies are out in order in the bottom of the first. Inciarte are coming up. No score here in game 2 of our set with the Phillies. Good to see Nick Markakis hit his first home run of the year here last night. 179 at-bats, 212 plate appearances between homers for the Braves outfielder, whose last homer was last September 25th.
And this was an opposite field poke.
And that squibbed foul toward Bo Porter, the Braves' third base coach. No balls and a strike for Markakis. Is there a place in the order Nick hasn't hit?
Well, I was looking for him this morning. I couldn't find him. I was going to say, you know, you're sinking like a rock in the lineup, but you can only go to 9th. That's as low as it goes.
A little pop to center that Herrera's going to catch. And there's out. I don't think it matters to him, does it?
No, I don't think so, because he's still leading the team in RBIs, and leading off he was getting, seemed like fewer opportunities to get those hits, because we showed last night his average with runners on base is 200 points higher than it is in this case leading off an inning.
Yeah, so it makes sense. Get a guy that can drive in runs in a run producing spot in the lineup. But he flies out to start the second. Here's Tyler Flowers. He's had a good road trip. Tyler's riding a 5-game hitting streak. Had 5 hits against the Pirates in the 3 games he played. And a rare miss from Morgan, who's been pounding the strike zone. He's thrown 20 pitches, only 4 have missed the target.
I think it's interesting when we go team to team and we see the Braves play every night, and we know, where most of their hits are. how they're swinging the bat, and then to see how an opposing team will shift or not shift for them, depending on the team. As was the case here, they had a shift on for him with the second baseman way up the middle. And we've seen Tyler Flowers hit the ball hard to right field all year long.
Well, they knew they were going to walk him. That's probably why,
That
right?
was perhaps part of it.
So Flowers aboard with a 1-out walk. Here's Inciarte. He's 2 for 16 this year against the Phillies. He is a fun player to watch. He can play all 3 outfield spots with Gold Glove caliber defense. The bat is coming around. He's a much better hitter than 213, but he has not had a chance to have much rhythm because of that stay on the disabled list with a hamstring problem. As Ruiz blocks that in the dirt. 1 ball, no strikes.
Well located fastball.
Inciarte with a bunt. And Jerry Davis, I believe, said that ball was foul. Ball hit Inciarte as he made his way up the line, but because it was a foul ball, it's strictly that. He's not out.
That was close. Oh, but it must have been in foul territory when he hit him.
Flowers with a short lead at first and the 1-2 pitch.
That's a pretty good hook. I'm surprised he doesn't throw it more.
We saw some good hooks last night, didn't we?
We did indeed.
Both Matt Whistler and Aaron Nola had excellent breaking stuff in game 1.
Woo! Good eye. That's what they say down in Australia. Good eye.
Popped up. Who wants this? Franco, Howard. It'll be Ryan Howard. Tell Joe was hanging out with Peter Moylan before the game in Kansas City. And there's the second out of the inning.
Braves not using their pitcher in the 8th spot today because Malik Smith isn't playing. I suppose he could have used Inciarte in the 9th spot, but the lefty-lefty matchup is not that attractive for it. So Ibar bats 8th and Perez 9th today.
Ibar hitting 178. Hit towards second. Backhand stab and the flip to Galvis. Nice play by Blanco on a sharply hit ball. Nothing doing for the Braves. Our scoreless second continues.
Delta Airlines, your local Ford dealer, and Xfinity. X1 from Xfinity will change the way you experience sports.
One of the great Phillies of all time. Terrific player, terrific broadcaster, and a man we miss an awful lot. The great Richie Ashburn. Immortalized here at Citizens Bank Park, an area they call Ashburn Alley, out beyond center field. It's where all the great restaurants are, the sports taverns here inside the ballpark. And Richie Ashburn and Harry Callis, a terrific broadcasting tandem for so many years and beloved here in Philadelphia.
Mighty. He was a lot of fun to be around him. What a player.
So Williams Perez goes to work. Gail Funko is the Phillies third baseman. He leads things off and dribbles one down the third base line, foul. No balls and a strike. Seven homers, 23 knocked in for Franco. Good start for Williams Perez. Get out of the first in order. And had good movement, but missed. One ball, one strike. That's hammered down the right field line and hit it for the seats. And a scramble for the souvenir. That's hit toward right. Markakis retreats, leaps in front of the fence, and he makes a fine catch.
What a good catch that was. That ball was scalded. Timed his jump perfectly. Well done. Franco, you might remember, scalded a double over the head of INCIARTE and left last night in the first inning.
So two good defensive plays by the Braves outfield in a row, and now Ryan Howard is the hitter. It has been an offensive struggle for the Phillies first baseman as far as the average is concerned. He still has 8 homers and 18 RBIs.
But except for the homers, he's not doing anything offensively for them. Go back to April 29th. Ryan Howard is 4 for 46. 3 homers and a double.
That's a luxury, quite frankly. The Phillies can't afford, as offensively challenged as they are. I think that's one reason why they brought Tommy Joseph up here.
Well, and think of this too. I was just talking about their defense and how important that is, and his defensive abilities certainly substandard to his own levels.
And he just got caught looking as Perez has his second strikeout. 2 up, 2 down. Williams has set down the first 5 in order.
Tommy Joseph was tearing it up in AAA, and he's been up here about, I don't know, a week, maybe 10 days at the most, and he's not getting to play much. So at some point, Pete Buchanan may have to ask himself, when do I put Joseph in there and find out what he can do? Because Ryan Howard is not doing anything to help their club.
Here's Carlos Ruiz, still a good fastball hitter. Got one and took it. Strike 1. High chopper hit toward d'Arnaud, got the friendly hop and threw a strike to first. Williams Perez pitching nicely on his 25th birthday in Philly. 6 up, 6 down. He'll lead off next.
Philadelphia. It is scoreless between the Phillies and the Braves going into the third inning, and you've heard the guys in the booth talk about this different lineup today. It's something that we haven't seen. You know, they're moving Nick Markakis up and down. He batted cleanup yesterday. It worked for them, and today he's in the 5-hole. INCIARTE batting 7th. But, you know, we were talking to the interim manager, Brian Snitker, and he was telling us, look, I want to mess around with this lineup. I want to see what clicks. He was like, I have the room to move people up and down, see what works, and maybe I'll find something that really clicks for this ball club. So you're going to see something different almost every day here because he wants to see if he can find that magic piece to this puzzle. Guys, we'll send it back to you.
Certainly worked last night.
Yeah, I like that, Kelsey. I think, you know, why not, I guess would be my answer. Get the offense going, and last night was a good night.
Williams, Perez, Chase Darno, and Gordon Beckham are coming up in the Atlanta third. That's in the air to right. David Lowe will make the catch, and Perez is 0 for 10 on the year. One man down, back to the top of the order, and Chase Darno is the hitter. Darno struck out, so he's 0 for 1. This is Darno's second start as the Braves leadoff man. Atlanta's used 5 different hitters in the top spot on the lineup card so far this year. And for Darno, this is only the 4th time in his major league career he's led off a game.
Led off the other night, the last game in Pittsburgh. Had a single, a double, a walk, and a stolen base.
Two balls and a strike. Chase was called up on May 2nd. He's reached base in 8 of his first 10 games. And as a starter, hitting .320. That one too high. 3 balls and a strike. Beckham waits on deck. Beckham, a nice play on that bouncing foul ball.
He's quite a glove man, even if it's just a batting glove.
Fly ball left center. Herrera on the run. Checks where the fence is and makes the catch on the warning track. And then he kicks the State Farm sign.
Wind's blowing in from right center to the left field line right now. Held that ball up a little bit. Darno put a pretty good charge in it.
We've talked a lot about how cozy this park can play, but on days like this, it's a very fair park for the pitchers. They have to touch one off to hit it out to left center by that 387 sign. Pull it right down the line, no matter the weather. You've got a shot for a home run to left.
And even straightaway left field, it's maybe 360 or so to straightaway left, and Gordon Beckham won't get an opportunity to try it.
He's hit by a pitch and makes his way to first. See where it got him.
Oh, the throw.
That'll bring up Freeman, who singled on an 0-2 pitch his first time up.
I mean, it wasn't a hit by pitch, but it was a similar play last night that kind of kept the inning, or got the inning going in the 7th inning when Mallex Smith reached. Gave the Braves a chance to keep the inning going. Freddie.
Line drive to right. Lowe makes a tumbling catch on that sinking drive. Freddie hit that one right on the button, but had nothing to show for it. No runs, no hits, a man left. Bottom part of the order up for the Phillies. To the bottom of inning number 3. Let's check out today's cold hard facts brought to you by Clean Crisp Coors Light.
Well, the first 2 innings, especially the first inning, we know have been real bears for the Braves starting pitchers. A 6.02 ERA in the first 2 innings. Every other inning is not so shabby at all at 3.76. So Williams Perez, a good job of 6 up and 6 down so far.
And with the Braves' offensive struggles over their first 40 games, that's a huge number. Last night, the Braves won just their 3rd game in 25 tries in which the opponent has scored the first run of the game. They're 3-22. So get into a rhythm, let your offense maybe give you a lead, and as good as this young staff has pitched, you'll take your chances. Ground ball to short. Ibar scoops and throws him out. 7 up, 7 down for Perez to start today. And here's Morgan. The Phillies pitcher is hitting 8th today. Morgan is 0 for 7 with 1 strikeout. Pride of the University of Alabama.
3rd round pick by the Phillies in 2011. I don't know that Morgan's call-up coincided with the injuries, but the Phillies were a man down in the rotation when Charlie Morton got hurt, the former Brave. He was 1-1 in his first 4 starts, and was it a hamstring muscle he tore?
Charlie Morton, yeah, it came off the bone. He had to have surgery and is lost for the year.
Yikes.
We've got back-to-back former SEC pitching stars working in this series. Nola from LSU last night. Morgan from Alabama in game 2 today. He rolls out to second. 2 quick outs, and here's David Lough. Lough's making his 14th start, his 6th in right field. Cedric Hunter was sent down to AAA on April 18th. And the Phillies, looking for any kind of corner outfield production they can find, brought Lough up. They're looking forward to getting Cody Ashe back. Ashe's been disabled for the entire season. He's in the minor leagues rehabbing. Remember, Ashe was a third baseman and moved him to the outfield.
Well, Cedric Hunter had a great spring, so they were counting heavily on him to kind of fill one of those spots. And got off to a bad start.
Looping liner into right. That's a base hit. First of the day for the Phillies. And with 2 outs in the 3rd inning, Williams Perez will go to the stretch for the first time.
Like an off-speed pitch that, change up that he left upstairs a little bit. Allowed Lough to get under it. So far, so good for Williams. He's making good pitches, mixing in his change up, keeping them off balance.
First pitch to Herrera is skied out of play. No balls and a strike.
Guy hasn't been in many games, as you just said, Chip, but he's run quite a bit. Lough is 1 out of 3 in stolen bases. That was a big lead.
And he draws another throw. We can understand the Phillies trying to be aggressive on the base paths, trying to scratch runs any way they can. They have not been a very successful base stealing team. They are 16 out of 32 in stolen bases this year. No balls and a strike. And time was called. No pitch. Another name I'd forgotten about is Aaron Altair, their terrific young outfielder who got hurt in the spring. Tore up his wrist. And he's lost for 4 to 6 months for the Philadelphia club. And we're counting on him to grow and mature and help this team offensively. So they are shorthanded.
I liked what I saw of him last year.
No balls and a strike. Lough the lead at first. Never a throw. Just a bit outside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Good movement, though. Sinker's really diving. Hasn't pitched inside, to my recollection, that often so far today. Second time through the order, might be a little different.
Line to third, and d'Arnaud speared it with a dive to his left. That's why they call third base the hot corner.
What a great play.
Check the webbing. A missile to third. d'Arnaud caught it. Herrera and the Phillies are out of luck. Coming right at you. Great grab. We head to the fourth.
Yeah, happy birthday to the skipper today. His 75th birthday. I'm sure he's with some family and friends having a big day on a big birthday. Happy birthday, Bobby.
Let's get Bobby a win. Let's get Williams Perez a win.
What do you get Bobby for a birthday?
Francoeur pops one down the right field line. Let's see. I don't think.
New tractor.
Nice cigar.
Oh, yeah.
Box of cigars.
Yeah. Go there.
Those were always
couple dozen golf balls.
Always only going to need one or two a round, right?
Yeah, 1 or 2 dozen.
Wasn't it great when Bobby was here to head down to the radar room, sit in that room for 45 minutes, an hour before the game, just talk about the other games going on, things that were happening around baseball, his career. Bobby always had something sitting behind him when he'd always sit up against the concrete wall with the door to his right, the TV monitors in front of him. There's always a horseshoe sitting right behind Bobby Cox in that room. Good luck. Two balls, 2 strikes. As Francoeur cracks one to right field, Jeff continues his good work against lefties. And the leadoff man on for the Braves.
That was laced. You know, we talked a lot in Pittsburgh about Jeff and Kelly Johnson taking different swings in batting practice that they thought they needed to take, that they weren't taking full cuts that they hoped would lead to some long balls, and it did, and it has. Freddie Freeman said, I don't necessarily subscribe to that. I think when you're going up there trying to hit homers, you can't, and especially in batting practice, I'm thinking more about the middle of the diamond and then react to the pitches. He said, I know that, and he was kind of motioning toward Jeff and Kelly when he said that. He said, you know, I know there's some other guys that feel differently, but I can't think of it that way. But I'll tell you what, ever since this road trip began or not, didn't begin, but wound up in Pittsburgh, Francoeur has been swinging it. He's had a real loose, free, easy swing, and the ball is jumping off his bat.
Are you one who believes that contagious, good or bad, is something that's a real factor for a baseball team?
No question. No question.
Blue sky appearing overhead here in Philly. That's a good omen, perhaps.
Winning's contagious. You know,
right.
You start winning a few games and guys start feeling better about themselves. They don't press as much offensively to try to get runs across. They feel confident that they're going to score, which makes the pitchers that much more confident.
Short lead by Jeff at first, and that's downstairs to Markakis. 3-0. I don't know how you quantify it, but just looking at the way the Braves are standing in the batter's box, getting on deck, the way they're studying pitchers, there's not a sense of what's going to go wrong at the plate now. There's a sense of what's going to go right. And things are going right to start this inning. A single and a walk, and nobody's out.
You know, through all the rough stretch of the first 40 games, I never felt like the team played like that. I didn't get that sense. Everybody still was, they were doing their work. They were in the cage. They were checking out video and all those things in preparation. And I never got the sense that this team ever looked around and said, woe is us. You know, we're never going to get through this. We're never going to be able to get this turned around, because they were working very hard at it. And hopefully this part of the schedule that's beginning, the fruits of their labor will begin to show in the win column too.
Rain begins to fall here in Philly. It's a light rain.
Wait, you just told me there's blue sky.
There is. It's like a spring training game in Florida.
Well, make up your mind.
Flowers walked his first time up. 2 on, nobody out. First good scoring chance for the Braves today. And that makes Bo Porter skip the rope at third base.
Oh, Bo.
That was close.
Old defensive back from University of Iowa. He had to swivel those hips on that one. Yikes.
Now, who jumped higher, Bo Porter or A.J. Pierzynski last night?
Oh, no doubt, Bo.
And a strike outside corner. It's 0-2. If you missed it, A.J. caught the final out of the ball game and was so excited that, as he said, he actually caught a pop fly this year. He was jumping around like a little kid.
Cause for celebration.
Flowers took that one low. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Francoeur led off with a single. Markakis a 4-pitch walk. This one's popped up. Low in right is there and makes the play. No advance, 1 out.
That pop fly seemed to be affected by the wind.
Inciarte popped up to Ryan Howard. Lot of outs in the air for Morgan. 8 of his 10 have been pop-ups or flies. He struck out the first man of the game, and that's the lone punch out he's picked up. Strike 1.
Ender is right up on top of the plate with that back foot, right on the edge of the inside line on the batter's box. Kind of challenging him to pitch him inside, but he's gotten 2 breaking balls and 2 good ones. So after the walk, he got ahead of Flowers 0-2 and now ahead of Inciarte 0-2.
Line drive into center field. That is going to get down. It's going to get by Herrera. It's going to roll to the wall. 1 run scores. Here comes Markakis to third. He'll stop there. INCIARTE brings home the game's first run on a shot to left center. It's a double all the way, and INCIARTE has his second RBI.
And Jeff Francoeur, this was either going to be an RBI or it was going to be a double play. Jeff Francoeur checking the outfield before the pitch. Just read it perfectly. He never looked back. He took off running, never looked back, and Herrera with the diving effort never got it.
So the Braves cash in a leadoff hit and have a chance for a big inning. Here's Ibar, second and third, 1 out. 2 hits and a walk for the Braves against Morgan. Inside corner strike.
Howard is in some at first base. I guess he would come home, but if he's going on contact, Markakis could still go on a ground ball that way.
Another shot toward left center. Herrera on the run, makes a fine running catch. Tagging at third and scoring is Markakis. Ibar tried to split a gap. He is out number 2, but he picks up RBI number 6. 2-0 Atlanta.
This ball was smoked. Hit it right on the button. It was hooking a little bit, and Herrera with a nice running catch saved a run. 1 scored, but 2 would have if he hadn't run it down.
So Williams Perez has been staked to a 2-run lead. He bats for a second time.
What's Morgan doing? Nobody's even holding him close. He must be confused on the signs, and rather than step off, he just bluffs a look back.
Big lead for Ender out at second. Perez sticks a little low.
Still raining, as you can hear on the thumps on our crowd mics.
Infield looks to be in pretty good shape. Mound as well. Two runs, 2 hits in the inning. And a 2-2 pitch coming to Perez. INCIARTE's on his way to third as that ball's in the dirt. And INCIARTE has an easy steal. That's his first of the year.
I mean, why not when there wasn't anyone holding him, not even bluffing?
Ground ball to short. Galvis to a knee, takes a look at the ball and throws to first in time. Productive inning for Atlanta. They cash in a single and a walk before the first out was manufactured. It's 2-0. Home fourth coming up.
Braves baseball is sponsored by your local Toyota dealers, Let's Go Places, and the Georgia Lottery.
That's not Pat's, that's not Gino's, that's Jim's steaks. They're all different, and if you get it wrong, you're in big trouble here in Philadelphia.
Is that here at the ballpark?
I don't know the answer to that. We'll have to send Kelsey out and find out. We know she likes the cheesesteaks. First 20,000 fans in attendance Saturday, May 28th. Get the giveaway of the year, a Chipper Rescues Freddie ATV bobblehead. You don't want to miss it. Go to Braves.com/tickets and secure yours today.
Jim's not at the ballpark. Thought maybe they had a concession here, but it's not here. Raining harder.
Yep.
Need to get another inning and a half in quickly.
Williams has retired 9 of the first 10 he's faced. He's allowed just 1 hit. That was to David Lowe with 2 outs last inning. He's got Galvis leading things off. And Freddie takes a ball 2 and 0 the count.
And Williams just wiped his hand on his pants after that one got away from him a little bit.
Yeah, the Phillies groundskeeper went out and talked with Jerry Davis in between innings to let him know about the weather. And this is what we figured was going to happen. They said there would be some windows from about 3 o'clock on, but as the day progressed, the weather was supposed to get progressively worse. Two balls and a strike. And he didn't get it. 2-2 your count. The talk was, had this game been rained out, that the Braves and Phillies would play a straight doubleheader tomorrow.
Problem with that, and there are several, not to mention it'd be the last day of a long road trip for the Braves, but you're allowed to bring up a 26th man for the doubleheader. Be hard to get somebody up here in time for an early game on Sunday.
Little pop. Out goes Ibar. Inciarte calls him off and makes the play. And there's the first out of the Phillies' 4th.
I tell you, Ender gets such a good jump. He gets such good reads off the bat. You know, that one sounded funny. You knew he didn't hit it real well, but there wasn't any hesitation on his part. That was going to be a tough play for Ibar, and Inciarte's just kind of trotting in, making the catch. He is really good out there. And so is Malix. What a nice combo to have, depending on who's pitching. They're both doing great work in center.
Andres Blanco flied out to Inciarte, who made a nice running catch to end the first. And a strike.
And I tell you what, I'm seeing in Williams what we saw before he got hit in the ankle in Pittsburgh last year when he was undefeated. Started him with a great hook, then came back with an excellent changeup. He's got so much confidence in all of his pitches. That's why I hated that game in Pittsburgh so much, because he was still doing the same thing. He just wasn't getting any plays made for him. And they all went down as earned runs. There weren't any errors, but there weren't any plays made where he should have gotten outs and didn't.
He's had excellent control today. He's allowed just 1 hit, mixing his pitches well. And he just struck out Blanco. His 3rd strikeout of the game, 2 quick outs in the 4th.
Struck him out on a 93 fastball. How about that sequence?
Franco has the hardest hit ball for the Phillies. A line drive to right that Markakis caught up against the scoreboard. How about that pitch?
I think that's what he was looking for on the first pitch, and he took a fastball right down the middle. I think he went up there looking for a breaking ball in the first pitch of the at bat and didn't get it. And waved at that one. He's so strong, Franco. And he's got that bat out away from his body and kind of points the barrel back at the pitcher. Got to have strong hands and forearms to be able to do that. It reminds me a little bit of Richie Allen in the way he'd hold his bat out away from him and do the same thing.
Freeman at first will take it to the bag himself, and Williams Perez cruises through the home fourth. Shutdown inning for the Braves' birthday boy today, 2-0 Atlanta. Through 4 innings, the Braves offense has given him a 2-run lead. Now the top of the order comes up in the 5th here in the middle game of our series with Phillies. Light rain continues to fall at Citizens Bank Park, and Adam Morgan missed low with ball 1. Chase is 0 for 2 at the plate, but he made a terrific play at third base earlier.
Braves come home and start a homestand on Tuesday. They're due some good weather, some warm weather, because today is more.
Lined over third. I think Franco might have gotten a piece of that with his glove. Darno on his way to second quickly, and he'll stand with a leadoff double.
Darno able to spear that line drive earlier. Franco not so much right here. I think it did tip off his glove. A little higher too.
So Darno's 4th double. Back-to-back innings where the leadoff man has reached for the Braves. Jeff Francoeur got things started in the 4th and scored the game's first run. BECKHAM has popped out. He's been hit by a pitch.
And he can handle the bat and get him over.
2 balls, 1 strike. Swing and a high fly ball down the left field line. Did he keep it fair? Oh, foul ball.
Porter, I think, is asking for them to check it in the dugout.
I thought that was way fair.
Foul ball. Holy smokes, that looked fair.
Great camera work by our Fox Sports crew. Ball went in front of the pole, so it was foul.
That close-up was a great shot.
Two balls, 2 strikes now. And now a full count. He was a former Major League cameraman. What's the key to being able to show a ball in flight like that? You did such great camera work back in Atlanta.
Well, it's a little system we call focus, Chip.
Sharply hit. Oh, Galvis with a backhand play had it drop to his feet, and Beckham's retired for the first out. Sharply hit, but no advance of the runner. 1 out.
That was a good at bat by Gordon, even though he didn't get the runner over. He hit 2 balls right on the nose. That ball was scorched.
And look at that high definition shot. You can see the raindrops.
Well, good camera work, like you said, you know, focus.
Check swing, broken bat. Roller to third. Franco's got it. And now Darno's at third base. Excuse me, that was Galvis. They have the shift on. Thanks, Joe. Good catch. It was a 6-3 put out, now to 5-3 put out. And Darno's 90 feet away for Jeff Francoeur. Base open. You've got Markakis waiting on deck, a left-hand hitter. Let's see how the Phillies play it.
Aperture is also something we work hard on.
Aperture?
Yeah.
So I'm going to write these down.
Operating.
Focus and aperture. Those are the first 2 things that came to mind for you. Okay. Rolled towards short. Backhanded by Galvis. He loads up. Wet baseball. Threw a sinker to first. And that takes care of Atlanta. They can't cash in a leadoff double. Plenty of focus for Williams Perez. He leads 2-0 as the Phillies come up. Phillies are coming up in the 5th inning. Their offense will be started by Ryan Howard. The big Philly first baseman is the subject of our Academy Sports and Outdoors leaderboard.
His career against the Braves is pretty much unmatched by active players in the game still. First in homers, RBIs, and walks. He's second in extra base hits to his old teammate Jimmy Rollins, and fourth in games played. But he has fallen on some very hard times at the plate and defensively. The only run Williams Perez gave up to the Phillies, though, in Atlanta was a home run, and that's one of those 4 hits that he's collected since April 29th.
And that line is just amazing to me. 4 for his last 57 at the plate. And fouled away. Ryan Howard has a big contract. It's not his fault he has the contract. The Phillies gave that to him. He would have been foolish not to sign it. But as a result, I think he's almost untradeable because there's a big buyout at the end of it as well.
Yeah, $10 million buyout. Mercy. 25 this year.
And if Howard were producing at all at this stage in his career, he'd be a DH and could really help some clubs in the American League. But not the way he's swinging the bat right now. And Phillies fans are unforgiving. He is struck out. That's 4 for Perez. Howard's been whiffed twice, and 1 man down in the 5th.
He's beginning to draw the ire of the somewhat fickle Philly fans. Nice play there by Tyler Flowers. Blocked that ball. But again, at some point they got to figure out something about Tommy Joseph, find out if he can play or not and help their team. Hard thing to do for a manager, to put your highest paid, most successful player on your roster, at least from a career standpoint, put him on the bench.
1 ball, no strikes. Well, if memory serves, Pete McCannon talked with Ryan Howard this spring about what his plans for playing time were, and a lot of that was that Howard wasn't going to play much against the lefties, and his production would dictate how much playing time he had against right-handed pitchers. And for a team that's struggling to score runs, maybe another conversation's looming for McCannon and Ryan Howard.
Yeah, when you're hitting 40 and 50 homers a year, it's a moot point,
right,
that you're hitting 220 or in a 4 for 58 stretch, because it's going to happen. That's not the case anymore.
Fouled away by Ruiz. He and Howard, the last holdovers for the Phillies World Championship team. Joe and I were talking about that before we took air, how great it was when the Braves and Phillies were National League Eastern equals, and they would come to town, and what great games we had head to head here. Slowly rolled out towards second. Ruiz was reaching for it. He's the second out. 1 out away from it being an official game.
Yeah, those were great series. Great teams. And it's funny how the Braves rivalries kind of in the division kind of shifted from one team to another. The Braves stayed at the top and the other teams would come and go, and that rivalry would increase depending on what team was going good at the time. The Phillies certainly were good for quite a while.
Breaking ball over the head of Tyler Goodell, who rolled out to short his first time up. One ball, one strike. The other thing that made this place so much fun was it was the toughest ticket in town to get. Every game was sold out for the Phillies for 3-4 years, maybe longer than that. I don't know the exact sellout number, but it was a crazy sellout streak. Over 250 we're told, maybe even more than that. as that one's hit hard toward right. Markakis turned the wrong way, plays that off the base of the wall, and Goodell will be held to a long single. That ball was scorched, and that's the second Phillies hit.
Left one up like a changeup that he left upstairs. A rare mistake there by Williams. That ball started slicing. That's why Nick got turned around and did the right thing of playing this off the wall rather than chase it to the wall. Just a long single.
So the Phillies will clear the pitcher. Morgan bounced out to second, his only time up. He trails in the game, as you see, 2-0. But the Phillies and Braves are doing exactly the same thing. They're building their franchises again around young pitching. Phillies acquired a lot of their pitching in the Ken Giles and Cole Hamels deal. They have a lot of terrific prospects they feel good about that are maybe a little closer to the big leagues than many of the Braves prospects are. But both see very promising futures in the very brief years ahead. Perez with a flip to first. That takes care of Morgan, and he's got a shutout through 5. It's an official game in Philadelphia on a rainy day, and the Braves are leading it 2-0. Game with the Phillies here tomorrow, an off day Monday in Atlanta, and then you're right, the Brewers come in for a 3-game series. A Milwaukee team that's missing Ryan Braun. He's had some back problems for the Brew Crew.
And if you don't know much about Milwaukee, there's going to be a great pitching matchup Tuesday, and that's Julio Teheran against Jimmy Nelson. They've got a couple of good pitchers. They've got Junior Guerra, who will pitch the second game of that series, but Teheran and Nelson will be a doozy.
So we hope you'll join us at Turner Field. After the Braves, we hope, have a great series with the Phillies. They're leading game 2, 2-0. Philadelphia just 2 hits. Nick Markakis leads off inning number 6 and takes a strike. Set up the outside corner.
Bailey begins to loosen up. 87th pitch coming.
And now a full count.
Morgan hasn't pitched poorly, but the Braves have left a base runner on every inning and got their 2 runs in a big 4th inning.
That's sprayed foul. Tyler Flowers and Ender Inciarte scheduled to hit after Nick. Popped up. Ruiz backpedals and makes the grab in fair ground.
Not an easy play.
Markakis is retired. Here's Tyler Flowers. He's walked and he has popped up.
Had a good road trip, 8 for 21 with a homer.
At the knees, 1 ball, 1 strike. Raining in Pittsburgh, where the Rockies and Pirates hope to play Game 2 of their series. Pittsburgh got a win from Garrett Cole yesterday. Beat Colorado 2-1. Garrett Cole didn't strike anybody out in his 7 innings.
Is that right?
But still won. Gave up 10 hits, no strikeouts. Nolan Arenado hit his 14th home run for the Rockies.
What a player.
Fly ball toward Herrera in center. He retreats. He's still going back and shy of the track. Will have room.
I don't think there are any Nolan Arenados in the draft this year. At least that type of player coming out of college that would jump up and be an automatic first round, first pick type guy. Phillies have the first pick. You know by now the Braves have the 3rd pick. And it just seems like, depending on what day the scouts see those guys either pitch or play, they keep moving around from anywhere from 1 to 10, could move up before draft day up into the top 3.
So that's an exciting time for both the Braves and Phillies. Chance to add to their blossoming farm systems as Inciarte bats. The pace of the rain picks up a bit as Ender takes a strike. It's 0-1. That's headed for the seats, and no balls, 2 strikes. Still can't get over that young fan's face last night when he caught that bat.
Yeah.
Total wide-eyed joy. He's got to take home a special souvenir. Two and two. Say this for Morgan, you're right, he's pitching a pretty good game. He doesn't waste any time either.
No, he works fast. I was teasing Eddie Perez, that ball rolling by him over there first. I said, okay, 2 things after the game. 1, Don't make Freddie Freeman stand out there in first base waiting for you to come get the ball that he wants to throw in between innings. He said, I did that on purpose. I said, oh, you did? And he goes, yeah, I just want to make him mad so he would hit 2 homers.
That sounds like Eddie. Fly ball to left.
And I said, be heads up on wild throws from infielders. They don't always throw to the first baseman. He said, yeah, I think they mistook me for their first baseman. About the same.
2-0.
Nothing Braves. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning. You see a 2-hit shutout being flung by Williams Perez. Well, part of that is because of his defense, and that's our Toyota key plays of the game. How about this little looper? Nice running catch by INCIARTE. There were also some hard hit balls, including this one to right by Franco. A nice running catch by Markakis to save extra bases, and then another great diving stop by d'Arnaud off the bat of Herrera. So some good D on our Toyota key plays so far today behind Perez. Much better than in Pittsburgh.
Which is what we said. If you catch it, you give your starters a chance. If your starters don't give up a couple of cheap runs, you give your offense a chance to keep you in the game, and that's exactly what's happened.
Check it out. No walks. And only 69 pitches.
9-1-2 coming up for the Phillies. It starts with David Lough, who picked up the first Philadelphia hit. He's going to bounce to first. Freeman will feed Perez, and Williams got to the bag in time. 1 pitch and 1 out.
One of the things, and we talk about this quite a bit, about pitching to contact. Last year, after he came off the disabled list, I thought Williams was trying to pitch away from contact. He didn't want the ball hit. He was not necessarily trying to strike everybody out, but he didn't trust his stuff enough to know that he could get outs from contact. Now he is. He's brilliant so far in throwing the ball around the plate to get the hitters to swing the bat.
Is it fair to say that maybe he was gun shy after that ball came back through the box?
I don't think there's any question.
And I can't blame him. I mean,
yeah.
As hard as that ball was hit in Pittsburgh. Herrera's 0 for 2. And he's going to be 0 for 3 if INCIARTE catches this one. And INCIARTE makes the play. A quick second out. Stay with us after the game for Braves Live. We'll recap all of today's action. Jerome and Nick Green are standing by in the Atlanta studios. Braves Live after the game, presented by Xfinity.
I think it's raining harder. I like watching this guy play shortstop.
I do too.
Good player. Change up. No, beg your pardon. Fastball. That had so much movement on it. I thought it was a change up.
Well, you said last night about Williams Perez. The first batter of the game in Pittsburgh set the tone for him. He walked the leadoff man. That led to the big inning. Well, he set the tone very early. Fly out, strike out, catch in center. Let's go to the second inning. And he has not had any trouble at all today.
One of the things that makes his changeup and his breaking ball so effective is a big motion. I mean, he steps back and then all of a sudden it's like this big arm action that he's going to throw something about 98. But it doesn't come out that way. It's very well disguised. 93 on that last pitch. He can bump it up a little when he wants to, ahead in the count, try to get something by somebody who's expecting the sinker.
Full count. Blanco's on deck. 2 outs. And pitch number 8 coming for Galvis. And it's a broken bat liner to short, and that will retire the side. 3 more up, 3 more down for Williams Perez. Off we go to the 7th. Giants Friday, May 27th through Monday, May the 30th. Don't forget the Chipper and Freddie ATV bobblehead game on the 28th and Chris Stapleton on the 29th. Go to Braves.com/tickets today. Braves have chased Adam Morgan 100 pitches over 6 innings. He allowed 2 runs. Now it's right-hander Andrew Bailey on the pitch.
Andrew Bailey's had his ERA bump up a little bit in this homestand. He's been in 3 games, an inning and 2/3. He's given up just 2 earned runs, but when you're not in there that much, that can waylay your numbers. Former closer over in the American League, still trying to bounce back from some arm injuries. Low 90s with slider, curve, and cutter. A lot of cutters.
So you got to figure Ibar's got a good scouting report on him. Longtime American League player with the Angels. And he fouls the first pitch at the plate. Ibar 0 for 1. He also has a sac fly and the second Braves RBI today. 2-0 behind Williams Perez. On a nasty day in Philly. Ground foul. 0-2.
Wasn't Bailey with Oakland?
I think so.
And I'm sure he and Eric matched up a lot in the American League West.
Started with Oakland, Boston, and the Yankees. For Bailey, biceps problems, right shoulder strain. He had to have the ulnar collateral ligament in his right thumb fixed surgically. He's had an intercostal strain, so injuries have really gotten in the way of Bailey's career. After 3 seasons of 24 saves or more with Oakland, that string ended in 2011. Two balls, 2 strikes.
I don't know if grip is becoming a problem, but it's raining harder. It's gotten colder. See Eric there trying to shake the water off the rim of his helmet.
This is the 10th time Ibar has faced Bailey. He's 3 for 9 against him.
Hitters hate that, boy. Hard enough to hit with all that, without all that dripping going on in front of you.
One of those hits against Bailey by Ibar is a home run. Another one would be against the rules here for the Braves, who enjoy a 2-run lead late. And foul at first.
Yeah, that's the only upsetting thing today for the Braves is wasting that leadoff double by d'Arnaud in the 5th, not able to get him around, because the Phillies have been struggling offensively. We've talked about that. They have not had 1 inning where they've scored 4 runs or more.
Full count. So they are truly doing it with pitching, with their bullpen, which has maybe been their biggest surprise. How good Jeanmar Gomez has been. David Hernandez has pitched great over his last 18 outings.
A lot of fans headed for cover now, Chip. So much for that blue sky you talked about.
Playing the messenger, 3-2 pitch, and way high. It's a leadoff walk.
See, that got away from him. He's wiping his hand on his pants after he threw that pitch. Something Jerry Davis, as the crew chief, I'm sure will be paying attention to.
Yeah, the slope of the mound looks to be in pretty good shape. They applied some Diamond Dry for the pitchers. They put some in the left and right batters boxes. Start to see a little bit of shine on that infield dirt, which tells you the water's starting to accumulate. Perez will try to bunt.
Cal Franco at third base, well, until just a second ago, had his hand inside his jersey so he could try to keep his right hand dry.
That's popped up. Howard is going to get there. A basket catch. Bailey almost ran over Ruiz. And Perez can't advance Ibar as he pops out. 1 down.
Nice play there by Ryan Howard. And I want to tell you, if there'd been a 3-man collision there, Carlos Ruiz would have lost that one. I don't care how much gear he's got on. Those other 2 guys are huge.
Oh, he just tripped.
Yeah, he slipped. Yeah, he took a big divot.
So 1 on, 1 out. Top of the order, d'Arnaud, who doubled his last time. Try hitting a fastball in a car wash. It's really raining hard now. He's out to little more rainfall on the infield. So while the fans stay dry, we'll remind you to follow Atlanta Braves baseball live with the MLB.com at bat app. Stay up to the moment at any moment with game day, live game video highlights, StatCast, news, and more. Download MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your phone and tablet. One ball, one strike. As we look right on top of the Phillies dugout, you can really see the water accumulating there. Just how heavily the rain is falling. There you go. Great shot. And d'Arnaud almost got hit.
Well, if any hitter gets hit right now, it is purely accident. Guys just can't hang on to the ball when they're pitching. Temperatures in the mid-50s, I would guess. It's cold. I know that, I mean, the base runner belongs to Bailey. He put him on. And so many times a reliever comes in and he's got guys on base that he inherits. And the game might be pretty tight score-wise.
Runner goes. Pitch a ball. Throw to second is a strike. He's out. Ibar hit the bag and then fell forward, and Ruiz just threw out Ibar for the second out of the inning.
Yeah, I don't know. It almost looked like Eric just stuck when he was trying to slide. Ruiz got a great pitch to throw on. Not much sliding going on there, and went right over the top of his foot. Galvis's foot, or excuse me, Blanco's foot. But my point was going to be about relievers is how the game slows down. We saw Morgan working at a rapid pace. Perez works quickly. Guys come in out of the bullpen, and I mean it's like somebody threw Velcro out there on the game, the pace of the game.
3 balls, 2 strikes. And that one is up the middle, a base hit. d'Arnaud keeps on hitting. That's his second hit of the ball game. And that'll keep the frame alive for a hot hitting Gordon Beckham, who's our Synovus Greatness Made Here feature.
Well, he's been red hot. Coming back from the disabled list on May 9th, his last 10 games, 5 doubles, 6 RBIs. Awesome on base percentage. He reminds me of, and I thought of this when he hit that ball down the line. It was almost a homer his last time up. Reminds me of Jeff Blauser in a lot of ways. He can play several positions on the infield. He's got some pop in his bat. Knows how to play the game. Kind of built alike. Be nice to see Jeff out the ballpark. He needs to come around more.
1 ball, no strikes for Gordon Beckham. I know that the commissioner, Rob Manfred, has talked about pace of game, time of game issues. The game times are creeping back up toward 3 hours. He doesn't like that. I think more than anything else is the point you just made. The specialization in bullpens now means the game is going to slow down. More and more pitchers are coming in, and the time that it takes to get them from the bullpen and warmed up, plus the length of innings in which they usually come in, as you said, with runners on base. That's just a natural ebb and flow of how the game is played now. I don't know how you can fix that unless you mandate that a pitcher has to face 2 or 3 hitters before he can be removed. I don't think anybody wants to see that happen.
No, and that's why I qualified it with, you know, I realize that there are a lot of situations where they come in with the game on the line. Tough spots. They don't want to rush into a pitch or a decision, so they're taking their time, and that's understandable.
Long inning for Bailey. Leadoff walk. A caught stealing. A hit. He's made a ton of throws to first base. And now the infield is starting to get real shiny. There's a strike. Kelsey talked about those pace of play issues with Braves players. Most of them didn't like it. What we haven't talked about is the elimination of the 4-pitch intentional walk. As that one's taken low. 2 walks in the inning, 2 on, 2 out, and Freddie Freeman's coming up, and that'll be the end of the line for Bailey. He threw a lot of pitches, not a lot of them in the strike zone. A caught stealing has helped bail him out. But now it's Freeman with 2 on, 2 out, trying to extend a lead here in the top of the 7th. 2-0 Braves in front.
Atlanta Braves baseball is sponsored by Synovus, the bank of here, and Xfinity. X1 from Xfinity will change the way you experience sports.
2-0 Atlanta. Braves trying to tack on a couple more with 2 outs here in the top of the 7th inning. Who better than Freddie Freeman to try to do that? He's our Yellowwood Bringing the Lumber feature.
Boy, that home run, that first homer last night was a skyrocket. And then when Overholser kept working him away, and then he tried to throw a fastball by him, Freddie jumped on that. He has been bringing the lumber. Colton Murray, the 3rd pitcher for the Phillies, throws hard, has a good curveball. Called up April 30th.
When Hinojosa went to the disabled list, he's got a 1.69 ERA over his last 11 appearances. That covers 10 2/3 innings for the Phillies. 2 on, 2 out. And that spun off the plate. 1 ball, no strikes. Milwaukee's taken a 2-1 lead over the Mets in the 3rd inning. Washington plays in Miami tonight. They'll face Jose Fernandez. Ball 2. Murray made his major league debut last September and faced the Mets. Gave up a home run in that first game. And he's fallen behind 3-0 to Freeman.
And he was slipping there a little bit.
There's a strike. It's 3-1.
Phillies defensive players have been out there a long time this inning getting wet.
Bases are loaded. Braves have 3 walks and a hit in the inning. And now Jeff Francoeur's coming up. You know, Jeff likes to swing at the first pitch. Let's see how patiently he works. Darno, Beckham, and Freeman are the Braves base runners.
Get ready for that first one. Don't have to tell Jeff that. He's always ready for the first one.
Well, it wasn't close enough to swing at. 1 ball, no strikes.
You'd think after he walked Freddie, he'd try to get ahead in the count. He didn't.
Now Bob McClure on his way to the mound. Every Phillies fielder is going to weigh about 10 pounds heavier at the end of this half inning.
They've got their hands in their pockets. They're cold. They're trying to walk around and stay warm. It's been a long half inning for them.
Don't forget, Braves Live presented by Xfinity will follow us here on a soggy afternoon in Philadelphia. Nick Green and Jerome Jurinovich. Hope to have the happy highlights in just a little bit.
A couple extra runs right here wouldn't hurt though first.
Jeff was thinking about his 3rd career grand slam with that swing. 1 ball, 1 strike. Good fastballs. Now 1 and 2.
Yeah, I think Murray may have gotten chewed out a little bit by Bob McClure about quit messing around.
Ruiz had it pop out of his glove. It's a swing and a miss. And that's going to end the Atlanta 7th. The Braves leave them loaded. 2-0.
in Philadelphia, but the Braves have a 2-0 lead over the Phillies going into the home half of the 7th inning. And you know, the Braves have not announced their starter for tomorrow. If you remember, they did send Aaron Blair back down to Gwinnett, which opens up a spot for that 5th spot. All signs are pointing to Casey Kelly, who we saw appear earlier in the season. Tyrell Jenkins is out. He pitched on the 18th. That's only 3 days rest. And then Bud Norris kind of got in the conversation, but he did throw over 25 pitches last night, so that knocks him out. So all signs are pointing to Casey Kelly, but again, we will have official announcement sometime later today.
All right, Kelsey, thank you very much. I'm sure Brian Snitker will make that announcement after the ball game, as Williams Perez had the ground crew come out and apply a little drying agent to the slope of the mound. Diamond dry along the base paths between first and second, second and third, as the rain continues to fall. Perez had to sit on the bench for a long time on this cold, soggy day. So with that in mind, the Braves bullpen is going to get busy, because it may take him a bit to get back in the flow of the game, and that's why the Braves bullpen has begun to work.
Yeah, and that's a smart idea, and smart for him to kind of test the slope of the mound too, to make sure that his footing's okay before he cuts any loose.
So Williams will have the 3, 4, and 5 hitters coming for the Phillies. Blanco, Franco, and Howard. Grilli and Kroll begin to loosen up in the Braves pen. Atlanta's held Philadelphia to only 2 hits today. A single by Goodell, a single by Lough. That's it. And Blanco's ready to go. He's 0 for 2. He's fly to center, and he has struck out swinging.
Only 79 pitches for Williams. That's not an issue. The conditions are. If he could get through this inning, that'd be a real bonus.
And ball low. 1 ball, no strikes. He missed with 3 in a row.
And he's kicking at the sand in front of the pitching rubber, aggravated that this game has deteriorated to what it is.
Sharply hit. That thing hydroplaned out to second. And nice play by Gordon Beckham. 1 out.
You're right. That was a big hop. Skipper.
So nice recovery by Perez from a 3-ball count. 1 away for Franco, who's also 0 for 2. Twins are in the win column today. They beat Toronto 5-3. White Sox losing to Kansas City 2-1 in the bottom of the 9th inning. The Royals got Mike Moustakas back. They sent that kid Cuthbert that we like so much down to AAA to bring Moustakas back. That's a big lift for the Royals. Now another 3-0 pitch and a strike. Bow up and in. And I think that got the bill of the batting helmet.
Like I said earlier, anybody that gets hit is going to be purely accidental. Williams is in there because of that reason. I'm not so sure it didn't hit the bat. That hit the bat.
It sure did. I saw the batting helmet fly away. And yeah, that hit the bat, not the helmet. And that's going to be called a hit by pitch, but the Braves might appeal this. That didn't hit the helmet. That clearly hit the bat, but still a very close call for Miguel Franco.
And they're going to review it. Rightly so.
Now Franco's making his way to first base. There's no way he knew what hit or what got hit. He just heard the sound and feared for his life, and understandably so. But that great angle in slow-mo showed the ball very clearly hitting the bat and not the batting helmet. And that's the best news of all.
This one, watch the bat waffle right there. He's very fortunate that it didn't hit his helmet or his face, but it hit neither.
And if this is determined to be a foul ball, he's going to have to gather his wits and step back in the batter's box with a pitcher throwing a wet baseball.
Another delay, another. I guess I call it an imposition. It's a foul ball. Got to bring him back.
So the call is overturned. And that's the second consecutive successful replay challenge earned by Brian Snitker. So it now becomes a full count for Franco. And I don't blame him for thinking this one over as he heads to the box.
What does he throw here? Another fastball, sinker.
And that missed low, ball 4. That is the first and only walk issued by Williams Perez. And Brian Snitker's not going to allow him to go any further in the game. On a soggy day, a couple of long waits, and that scary pitch up and into Franco. Brian Snitker is going to go to his pen.
I think it's a great move because I think the weather's gotten in Williams' head a little bit.
So on his birthday, he departs after 6 1/3 scoreless work. Let's see how the Braves bullpen fares with Ian Kroll coming in to face Ryan Howard. from today for a free post-game concert, part of the Coca-Cola and Delta Airlines Summer Concert Series. Go to Braves.com/concerts and get your tickets today. Well, we know it's going to be Ian Kroll. We also know that Pete Maccannon's not going to let Ryan Howard face him.
Yeah, sign of the times, I think. Ian Kroll, 6 games, 3.86 ERA, 9 strikeouts in 4 2/3 innings, throws hard. And Pete Mackannon going to pinch hit for Ryan Howard with the guy we've been talking about, Tommy Joseph. Pinch hit here last night, struck out.
One on, one out. 2-0 game. And a strike.
Phillies have not had a man to second base. And Franco at first, just their third base runner, period.
Kroll's been a busy man on the road trip. This is his 5th game. 2 appearances in Kansas City, scoreless. 2 innings in Pittsburgh, 3 hits, 1 run, 4 strikeouts in 2 outings. He's quickly ahead, 0-2. Another foul ball. We'll do it again. Told you last night, Joseph was there for the taking. Was not on the Phillies 40-man roster, but here he is. Fly ball toward right. Markakis slowing in the corner. He's going to make the play on the warning track. And Joseph flies out. 2 men are down.
Yeah, I'm surprised that ball stayed fair. Thought it would slice into the seats, and it didn't.
Concussions and wrist surgery are what sidelined Tommy Joseph. Brian Snitker asking Jerry Davis, how you enjoying this rain? Jerry, I get to sit in the dugout where it's nice and warm and stay dry. Another pitching change for Atlanta.
By Academy Sports and Outdoors. Right stuff, low price, every day.
2-0 Braves in front in Philly. Phillies bring the tying run to the plate again. Carlos Ruiz will face Jason Grilli. Again, we remind you the first 20,000 fans in attendance Saturday, May 28th get the giveaway of the year, a Chipper Rescues Freddy ATV bobblehead. Go to Braves.com/tickets and get your tickets today. Kelly Johnson has checked in. He's in left field for the Braves. Kelly will be in the number 9 spot on the lineup card. Jason Grilli checks in to pitch.
5th game for him on this road trip. 2 in KC, 2 in Pittsburgh. First one in this series.
He bounced the first one up there for ball 1. Williams Perez 6 1/3 scoreless. The man at first is his responsibility, and the pitch is rifled down the left field line, foul.
You mentioned he's a good fastball hitter. Got one there.
Nice bounce back start for Williams Perez. The Braves bullpen will have to help him out over the final 2 2/3.
Wind really picked up blowing in from center toward the third baseline.
Driven toward right. Markakis on the run, still going. He's going to get there. And that will take care of Ruiz and the Phillies. 1 man left. We're off to the 8th inning. Williams Perez, a scoreless performance on his birthday. It's 2-0 Atlanta. We owed you a reminder. Stay tuned for Braves Live following our game with the Phillies. Green and Jerome are standing by. We'll hear from Brian Snitker and the players. It's presented as always by our friends at Xfinity.
Some hardy fans here today. Still only a 2-0 Braves lead, though. They're hoping for a Phillies comeback. That's why they've hung around.
He's got the moves and he knows the words too. That's pretty good.
Anything to stay warm.
Yeah.
He's not dry.
And Nick Markakis trying to grab a foothold as he stands in to start the Atlanta eighth.
He's trying to figure out where the batter's box is. I think, you know, that toe hold relative to home plate. Nick's had a good day. Defensively, especially, made another good catch just now to end the inning.
That's popped out of play, foul. No balls and a strike from Colton Murray. Murray came on, walked the first man he faced, then struck out Jeff Francoeur. So he's got the eighth inning with Markakis, Flowers, and Inciarte coming up. Quickly, 0-2. They're underway in Pittsburgh. The Rockies have struck first. It's 1-0 in the second at PNC Park. Seattle's in Cincinnati, beating the Reds 4-0. The Reds bullpen wishes the season would end. They had an awful day yesterday. As Nick swings and misses, he's the first out of the inning. Reds had a 3-1 lead. Seattle scored 7 runs against the Reds bullpen over the final 3 innings.
A continuation of their whole season so far.
5 starters on the disabled list right now for Cincinnati. So some of those youngsters have been pressed into duty because they just don't have enough arms of any kind in Cincinnati right now. That's a shame. Here's Flowers. First pitch swing, and that one's headed for the seats. Strike one. Milwaukee 4, Mets 2 in the 5th. St. Louis leads Arizona 2-0 in the 5th inning at Busch Stadium. Here the Braves got 2 runs in the 4th inning. A leadoff hit, a walk from Nick Markakis, a double and a sac fly against Adam Morgan, who didn't pitch a bad game.
No, he didn't. He just had base runners everywhere. He was able to pitch around a leadoff double in the 5th inning too. That was an impressive piece of work.
Pop up. Joseph gives chase. Lowe comes in and makes a fine sliding catch.
Nice play. He had to run a mile, mile and a half, 2 miles to get that. He was watching Joseph and realized Joseph was in big trouble. He turned on the Jets.
So 2 outs. And here is Ender. He too has had a good day today. His second RBI, a ringing double. In the air toward Herrera in center. He will battle the raindrops. And an easy inning for Murray as the Braves are retired in order. Bottom part of the lineup card coming up for the Phillies. 16 straight scoreless innings worked by the Braves in this series now. They'll try to extend that to 16 innings as we head to the bottom of inning number 8. Jason Grilli back out there. He'll have 7, 8, and 9 coming up. Williams Perez in his last start victimized by his defense. That wasn't the case today.
No, it wasn't. That's why Don Sutton had a good term. He was talking to Mike Foltynewicz after his start in Philly. He said, "You pitched really well. Go hit the delete button on this one in Pittsburgh. Just delete it. Forget about it." And that's kind of what Williams needs to do about his start in Pittsburgh too. Don't even look at it, refer to it, forget it.
Tyler Goodell leads off. Goodell is the second Philly with a hit today. The other is David Lowe, who's batting 9th. Goodell also has grounded to short. No balls at a strike from Grilli. Turns it loose. Big pitch, 0-2. Swing and a miss, tied him up at 91 miles an hour. And Cesar Hernandez is going to come on as a pinch hitter. I think that's an interesting point Don made about the delete button for a pitcher. I would think that would be a lot easier thing to do for a relief pitcher because they have a bad outing. He can go right back out the next day. If you're a starter, you've got to sit, think, and prepare for and overcome what happened 4 or 5 days earlier.
Yeah, just wear it for 5 days till you get a chance to make amends. But I just felt like Williams pitched real well, and I say again, I was proud and impressed with him sticking it out. You know, he stayed around for 6 innings, gave up 6 runs that were all earned, that inflated his ERA, and that was a shame because they weren't all his fault.
No balls and a strike for Cesar Hernandez.
This is interesting. Jason's kind of changed his tack today. He threw easy off-speed pitch for strike 1 to Goodell, then threw him a breaking ball for strike 2, and then struck him out on a 91 fastball. He kind of reversed his usual mode of operation here.
Very defensive swing.
Boy, Tyler Flowers is a big guy. Not that I didn't already know that, but when I'm watching him try to set up a low target, how hard it is for him, as big as he is, to get that glove down there, you know, around the knees. And he'll even throw one knee back behind him to try to get a little lower.
Jam shot popped up. Darno gives chase. So does Tyler. No play. Guy tried to catch that foul ball with the umbrella, and then he tried to fend him off of the foul ball with it. A sword and a shield on a rainy day.
Well, the rain didn't stop, but it kind of turned to a mist, and now it's coming down again.
1 ball, 2 strikes. And a swing and a miss by Hernandez. Grilli has back-to-back strikeouts.
This is about as wet as it gets, folks, for a baseball game to continue this long. Chip is using that description of it's shiny on the infield from the reflection on the lights. It is shiny all over right now.
Hunter Cervenka warming up. See the background. Marty Reed, who's the new Braves bullpen coach.
Marty was the pitching coach at Gwinnett.
One ball, no strikes. And low now, an even count. Crowd today 20,196. What's left of it is mostly undercover here. One and two now for the Phillies outfielder, David Lough. And now it's 2-2. High fly ball toward left. Kelly Johnson backpedals. He's there. And he goes to a catcher's squat to make that play. Grilli faced for, retired for, and we are off to the ninth. Our coverage starts at 1 Eastern on Fox Sports South and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. And you know what's coming up after that game, Joe?
I do not.
Braves Live presented by Xfinity, so you won't want to miss that.
You know what? Now that you mention it, I do remember.
That's right. What we don't know is who's going to start the game for Atlanta.
Right.
Jared Eichhoff has been scheduled to start for the Phillies. He's had a tough time of it. Grounds crew hard at work, and they're going through their May allotment of diamond dry today. David Hernandez will get some mound manicuring underway as Atlanta looks to add to a 2-run lead, and the Braves are trying to do something they have not done since April 17th and 18th. That is win back-to-back games. That was during Atlanta's 4-game winning streak that took place after they opened the year with 9 consecutive losses. So Hernandez says the mound's in good enough shape. He's ready to go, and he has been a big part of the story for the Phillies here in the first month and a half.
20 and a third innings, 30 strikeouts, very low batting average against, and an excellent ERA. Always a big strikeout guy and a good setup man for Jamar Gomez when they've had opportunities to close out games.
So Hernandez will face Eric Ibar in the Atlanta ninth. 2 runs, 5 hits for the Braves. Both runs came in the 4th. And Sky back out of play. It's strike 1. Hernandez just 3 earned runs over his last 20 and a third innings. Averaged almost 9 strikeouts per 9 innings pitched last year. And the Phillies began this series second in strikeouts in the National League. Only the Nationals staff had struck out more. Today, though, strikeouts were few and far between. Morgan struck out 3. Murray struck out 2. And Arodys Vizcaíno is getting ready for the 9th and the top of the Philadelphia batting order. Swing and a miss. Ibar is down swinging. 1 away in the 9th. Kelly Johnson will swing the bat for the first time. It really came on. Kelly took over in left field. Kelly hit a home run on the road trip off Corey Lubke on the 16th in Pittsburgh.
Braves would just do some decent weather. You know, they got a real nice night last night. Look what happened. Cashed in.
Yep. That's better than our last road trip, I can tell you that.
Yeah, and the days in Pittsburgh weren't bad. No rain. That was what was great. I'm sure there are other teams that have had their share, but the Braves seemed like, especially on the road, it's been just awful every day almost.
I think the forecast tomorrow is supposed to be much better than today. This front should move through tonight. At least we hope. Getaway day. Everybody's antsy, wants to finish the road trip with a win and get home for the off day and a nice long homestand. Roller toward first. Joseph will field. He'll flip to the pitcher Hernandez, and there's the second out. There's not much sure footing. You can see how gingerly Hernandez made his way to the first base bag from grass to dirt.
Well, all that drying agent they put on the field between innings, the only place that it still looks somewhat dry is right there around the first base area. The rest of it is already soaked and shiny.
Yep, lots of standing water here at Citizens Bank. Darno's had a good day today. 2 more hits. He's 8 out of 18 at the plate on the road trip, and he's got a 5-game hit streak working now. Also made a sensational grab at third base on a Herrera line drive. And he's going to have a 3-hit day. That one just hooked over the shortstop's head and into left field. Handled cleanly by Goodell with a rooster tail of water splashing up.
He's got a little bit of a hitch in his swing to get it started. Starting mechanism, watch his hands, drops him, gets him back up, but takes the barrel to the baseball, and he's been squaring up just about everything. Very impressive. I was asking him about his brother last night, Travis, the catcher for the Mets, and I said, is he close to coming back? And he said, no, it might be another month, maybe even 2.
Wow.
On his shoulder.
Mets could surely use him. Good player, Travis d'Arnaud. Chase d'Arnaud having a good run with Braves, and that's up and in to Gordon Beckham. Gordon's 0 for 2. He's been hit by a pitch and walked. And we're just told that for d'Arnaud, that 3-hit game is a career high in the big leagues. Good for him. 1 ball, 1 strike. Get off my lawn, kids.
The magician.
All right.
That was worth the wait.
One and 2 for Gordon. d'Arnaud's running, and it's out of play, foul. And a fan from Seven Valleys, Pennsylvania, just short-armed that ball. It was just a nice, soft fly ball and bailed.
Fear of injury is a great deterrent on foul balls, especially on a cold day.
1-2 pitch. Popped up. And Ruiz is going to have a play at the plate. Actually, Joe, that fan didn't want to put down his cold frosty beverage.
I see.
So we head to the bottom of the 9th inning. Vizcaíno trying to mop up the Phillies in game 2. To get for Atlanta, but first let's tell you how we've gotten to the bottom of the 9th inning today. Perez was terrific, so was Morgan, but Adam Morgan gave up a couple of runs early.
Well, and part of that was Ender Inciarte, who had a real good at bat before his double. He'd fallen behind in the count, placed a double just out of the reach of Herrera in left center. The other run coming home on a sacrifice fly by Eric Ibar. Chase d'Arnaud, a career-high 3 hits, including a double. So a good day for him and a good day for the Braves defense, too. They've been very steady on a very miserable day here at the Bank Ball. So
Vizcaíno's got the top of the order. Herrera, Galvis, and Blanco. Hey, nobody beats the Viz. See if the roadies can take care of business. And some more defensive changes for the Braves. Ender Inciarte is in left. Malik Smith has taken over in center. That's just quicksand right now.
Yeah.
Look at how thick and sticky the infield is. This field has taken a ton of water, and it's really coming down hard. So you hope it'll be advantage Vizcaíno as the Phillies don't have windshield wipers on their batting helmets. Nasty.
And I'm here to tell you, for a guy like Smith, it's tough to come into a game like this in these conditions and be loose, be warm. Hard to do.
One last member of the Phillies grounds crew makes his way from first to third, and you can just see where the third base umpire, Sam Holbrook, is standing. If he steps a step to his left, we may never see him again.
Hello.
So no drama. Roadies 2-0 Atlanta for ODUBEL HERRERA.
These guys will be up there hacking or bunting. They're not going to stick around trying to work counts, one wouldn't assume, because of the conditions.
Nice work by Jason Grilli, an inning and a third with 2 strikeouts. He's the third of 4 Braves pitchers to work today. No balls and a strike. And that one across the shoe tops at 98. Braves are trying for their 3rd win in this head-to-head season series with the Phillies. The Braves have done good work against Philadelphia. They've won 10 or more games in the overall series with the Phillies each of the last 4 years. Philadelphia took 2 out of 3 in Atlanta. The Braves 3 outs away from taking the first 2 of this set. That's high. 2 balls and a strike.
Well, even though both teams may have slipped out of the upper tiers of the National League East for a brief time, they're still very competitive with one another.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Perez and Morgan, the pitchers of record. Vizcaíno trying to earn the save. And the Braves are looking for their 12th win. Swing and a miss. That ball was in the mud. And Vizcaíno gets his first man. 1 man down.
Late. That ball had a little hop on it. I commend the umpires for doing everything they can to get this game in, but I have a strong feeling that this game would be called off and over if it had to go another inning. I don't know how they could continue on the field.
A strike. If we had to start this game at 7 o'clock, we'd be rained out. There'd be no way.
No.
Galvis quickly behind. No balls, 2 strikes. Breaking ball frozen. What a pretty pitch. Back-to-back strikeouts in the 9th inning. 2 away.
That's 8 strikeouts for Braves pitchers. 4 by the relievers. 2 by Grilli. Now 2 by Vizcaino. Backdoor breaking ball. Umpire's been out there a long time today too, boys. You better swing the bat.
Blanco is a man that's one of those 8 strikeout victims. That came in the 4th inning. He's flied out and grounded out. Downstairs, ball 1. Braves are looking for their 3rd shutout. All of them have come on the road, and that one's hit right at Mallex Smith. And he is there, and the Braves have beaten the Phillies. 2-0 is your final score. Atlanta has won the series. And tomorrow they'll dry off and go for a series sweep and a .500 road trip. What a happy birthday it is for Williams Perez and former Braves manager Bobby Cox. Braves 2, Phillies 0. That's your final from Citizens Bank. We'll recap things for you right after this timeout.